Yeah.
Here's a question for you. What would you rather do? Would you rather go see Tina Turner
Hmm.
or Madonna?
Tina Turner all day,
Tina
all
Why?
Turner.
day long,
Yeah.
Why?
because she's better.
Yeah. I would have considered Madonna in like 89,
Not
90,
even.
maybe.
She couldn't shine Tina's high heels. To compare Tina to Madonna, it's insulting.
It's
Because
like
I'm gonna punch you hard.
it's like
it's like
saying,
comparing
well,
Celestial Sanctuary to Wolfie.
right.
Hey everybody at Shit Talk Reviews. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us a little bit. I am John. We have Derek. And
David.
it's a good day. Why? Because it's Shit Talk Reviews Day.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Very somber feeling in the office today. It's weird.
No, not for maybe for you. I had a couple beers at lunch. I got souped up for this. For this, I'm ready. I got pumpkin from Southern Tier in my gullet, and I got my Slayer shirt. I'm pumped for Polar.
I think yesterday a lot of people were turning. It was like a war in here yesterday. People were just turning on each other, and I think we're exhausted from yesterday. So everybody who came in today is just tired.
Everybody's just worn out.
I'm good. I just think nobody
Well, you
likes
weren't
Dave.
here
Hey,
You weren't here
Nobody likes
yesterday.
you.
You
That's
come
what it
on
is.
select days or when you want to. So it
Well,
doesn't.
I've earned that right. I do what I want.
keeps
Like
us
Cartman.
leaves us wanting more, Dave.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the last time you have to be in the same room with me in this office, at least for 2 weeks. I think I'll be here one day over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we'll be
Right.
spending an awful lot of time
We
together
will.
next week.
Yes.
We'll be in
And
Boston
I talked to
for
Keith
the
today. Did you see it? Did you see the?
Oh, you chatted with Keith. Yeah, we're going to go
Yeah,
see
he's
Death Ray Vision, Exhumed, Insight, and Cavalier
yeah.
Conspiracy next
Keith's
week in
all.
Boston.
Keith Bennett is all set for us.
Nice. Where's that show? Is it the Paradise Rock Club? Is that what it's called?
Paradise in Boston. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, a good time.
come out and come see a great show, and come find us, and we'll put a sticker on your face.
Oh, there you go. We could
Yeah.
deface somebody's face.
We'll deface a face. Yeah.
Polar everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything. What do you think?
Let's get into it.
Yeah. Here's the deal, and I hope I didn't mess this up. But man, trying to find the lineup for this band is very difficult. They've had a lot of turnover. So the recent lineup I think I have, and guys, if I'm wrong, message me and we'll fix it. But singing, Adam Woodford, guitar, Simon Richardson, bass, Bruno Consani, and the
Oh
drums,
boy.
Bradley Hanson.
Oh boy.
Now,
See, we're already in trouble.
yours is probably different than his. I found
Yeah.
this, so there's a lot of conflicting
My
lineups here.
lineup:
Yeah.
Adam Woodford on vocals, Nick Jones on drums, Fabian
Yeah.
Lomas
Yep.
on guitar and backing Vox, Max O'Neill guitar and backing vocals, and Rick Keenan on bass.
Okay. I'm
So-
not sure what lineup did the album, and maybe this is a touring lineup with a new different band.
I don't
They're
know, but
very hard to find out.
I immediately feel like an asshole
Why is that?
because we try and come correct with accurate
do.
information,
Yeah, but
and we've
pure-
already started off
pure
telling people we don't know
stipulation, though.
shit.
Just a lot of lineup changes. So I don't know really which one the lineup. Hopefully, this one is right that I have
Mhm.
just said. I'm not sure. So again, all apologies
Yeah.
if
It is interesting that musicians are musicians. They're not in marketing, and it's not their job to sit here and update the web on who their lineup is, and they don't do press releases like businesses. So, hey, it's all good. It's all good. In the end of the day, I think Adam Woodford has been pretty consistent throughout this
original. Yeah.
band. Yeah. Yep.
First album came out in 2010, and they followed up in 12, 13, 14. They had one in 16. 2019, Nova was the last one
Mhm.
before the one we're going to review today, Everywhere, Everything. So the band's been around for 13 years. Out of the UK, I mean, I don't know if I consider them a hardcore metal band, but they certainly have hardcore to their music, a lot of melodics. I thought the choruses were pretty catchy. Kind of like a filter. I thought a few songs would sound great on the radio that was on this album. We'll get into it, but A lot of instrumentals. I thought the vocals were good, and I'm just curious to see what you guys
Yeah, I wasn't
think about it.
familiar with them before you brought them to the table, but I saw that they were labeled as hardcore, and that was I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, hardcore elements, no doubt.
elements for sure. Yeah,
Um, but there's some prog in there, proggy gent, progressive metal. But yeah, I don't know if I would go hardcore. I mean, you're kind of our resident hardcore guy. Would you classify him as hardcore?
It's not remotely hardcore. I mean, it's somewhere between metalcore, a lot of post-hardcore. And
Mhm.
what that means is it's taking elements of hardcore, like the gang vocals, which are very prevalent on this record,
Yeah.
but they're, in post-hardcore, they're a little bit more melodic. And there's obviously a lot of the bridges in this have prog guitars. And so when you layer in atmospheric elements to it, it's a little bit of prog, it's a little bit post-hardcore, and a little bit of metalcore, all kind of mixed into one, which I liked about this record is, and the band in general, is that they're trying to take elements of a lot of different genres of metal, bring it together, and make it accessible for more people. It's not as grating and in your face as it could be.
That was one of the things I picked up right off the bat. And as you know, we'll talk more about it, but I expected it to be a little more aggressive, a little gnarlier than it
Mhm.
was. And the album's got all the stuff I like.
Their previous stuff is like that. If you went
It
back,
is. I
it's
noticed that too.
harder.
Even
Yeah,
Nova from what was that,
yeah,
2019?
2019.
Um, yeah, definitely a little more ugly. But if you listen to what's going on in the records, it's not that dissimilar. We chatted a little bit about it this morning. I don't know if it's a production style choice that was made on this album, but it is a lot more approachable than I would have expected it to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Given it, there's, like I said, a lot of the gent style stuff. It checks a lot of the boxes that I like.
To me, it had a little urn in it, Spirit Adrift, right? It had a little touch of everybody,
It
which
did.
which was nice.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of different
yeah,
styles on this
yeah.
record, but the whole of the album, I mean, I think it feels like a total package kind of record in that it touches on in a number of different styles. But what was most evident to me was that it didn't seem that it
Okay,
felt like it was lacking
Felt
yeah,
something.
that's fair.
it felt
Yeah.
like Rick Rubin got his hands, and
Oh,
I hate to
oh
go
no,
there, but
oh no.
eh, eh, yeah, I'm sorry, man. And listen, I
John and I,
like.
we've been trying to ignore Rick Rubin for weeks.
Well, there's a lot of really good that's in there, and unfortunately for me, when I listened to it, and I asked you because you're the production guy, is was it the mixing, or was it the production and choices that they made to kind of neuter their balls?
Yeah, I couldn't
Just,
answer it before, and I
yeah.
still struggle with it. I haven't found an answer as to what it is that's missing there because the mix is good.
Yeah,
It's to my ears anyway, it's a well balanced mix, and from an overall production standpoint, it's good.
the band's tight. I mean, they're
But yeah,
good.
the
Yeah.
performances are good. The songcraft is there.
Yeah.
I like the styles that they employed, but there was something missing in the overall, presentation that
From a baseball reference, like everybody wants to see home runs, right? They want to see grand
Mhm.
slams. For me, this is a bunt single. Like we're watching a guy that's fast beat out a single on a bunt, and you're like, oh, well, all right. It's kind of like you've written a really good record, and then you just kind of took the oomph out of it. And that was I never got over that. I gave it another listen on the way down this morning. And again, I like the music. I like the record. It's a little formulaic at parts, like the gang vocals are pretty much in every chorus part. But getting over that fact, you can get over it. But I tested it because Cannibal Corpse has a new record, and as soon as I put the Cannibal Corpse record on, boom, Corpse Grinders right in your face. The guitars are right in your face. The bass is right. It's up front. It's there, and it's there to rip your face off. This record, everything's back. It's further back. It's not there. It's not in there, and it's not there to hurt you. And that's not a bad thing, but it seems like they were trying to become a little bit more accessible, and they kind
That's
of
a good
took
point.
their teeth
Yeah.
away by trying to be accessible, and I think that's where this album falls flat.
I
Yeah,
mean, go
oh,
ahead,
sorry,
John.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you listen to the song Burn, it's all these elements you're talking about. Comes
Mhm.
out thunderous and then it gets melodic and then the vocals. So it was a ton of parts to it. To both your points, you're right. You as you're getting into maybe one of the songs, kind of just drifted away a little bit. Like, oh,
Well,
why didn't you just stay where you were? You know?
there's plenty of heavy on the record. And
Yeah.
listening to their other stuff, their earlier albums, there's a ton of heavy on
Ton.
those too. And that's what's
Yeah.
weird about the record to me is the performances are great. And it's not I don't want to discredit the band at all because the performances are great. The songcraft is good. They write good material, but the overall package
I
just
think,
feels lacking. And I
John,
can't put my finger on why.
it's a very good point you bring up, but he might have the answer, Derek. But see, to me, I think the bands try certain things, and then when it falls on deaf ears, it's time to change it up. And lately, it seems like to me, a lot of these bands that were more heavier at one time, they're all trying to do the same thing: get some radio play, get some. It just everything seems like it's changing all at once for me. It just seems like everybody's doing this.
Now, I don't agree only in that to me, I don't think the material is all that different from earlier records. To me, it's a production thing. And
Mhm.
Yeah. All
I
right.
would be curious
Yeah.
to talk to him and was it a conscious choice to, to say filter the album isn't right, but when the album was being mixed and mastered, did someone say, you know what, if we apply this or if we do that,
Yeah.
it will give us a more commercially viable product as opposed to a more niche oriented album? Because like you said, there's radio friendly feels on this record, even though it's heavy.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's a strange thing. I haven't encountered this lately in the stuff
Well, it's
we've
like
been
Derek
listening to.
told. It's like he told One from the North. It's the same thing. The elements are there, man, but you just got to keep it going. And you heard One from the North tell Derek he was right. So maybe you just, I don't know. I hate when bands vary and they sound different than they did. I'm all for stay in your lane and do what got you there, but it just seems like a reach on certain times when you listen to certain bands. But
There was one part at I think it was the end of Rush. There was a drum solo, which, let's be honest, like whenever there's a drum solo, this guy is going bananas. And I was listening to it, and it was like back. It just felt
Mhm.
like it was in the other room, and it wasn't in your room and in your face. And it was a good drum solo, and it's
Yeah.
cool, and it was kind of just lost. And it goes back to production. I have a feeling if you took this record and remixed it with somebody else, it could be a whole new record and a whole new experience. But we probably will never know, and they'll move on. A lot of times these bands will bring in, different producers and different folks to mix, and they have their perspective, and opinions are like assholes, and everybody has one, and they think this is the right thing for the band. And I think that the majority of us feel like the right thing for this band was to not dilute who they are. And that's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly what you felt, on Rush with that drum solo. I felt the same thing about the whole album. It did. It kind of feels like it's in the next room, and that's not to beat up on the guys in the band. I mean, they may have self-produced. I don't know, but the performances are there. The songcraft and the songwriting is there. Um, it had some great. We're jumping ahead to standouts a little bit. The Greatest Sin is one of them. It's got the stuff I like. It's got the real percussive gent-based guitar riffs and all that with the cleans over the top, excuse me, the clean guitars over the top. And it's great, but it just doesn't feel like it's in your face. It
right.
feels like something's missing there, like it's being played in the next room. And I don't
Again,
get it.
if you go back to listen to the old stuff that they had and some of these other bands that we've talked about, and then you listen to some of the new stuff that comes out, it just seems like to me bands are just trying to go too hard to fit in somewhere. Does that make sense? It just feels like they're
Well,
trying to fit in somewhere where they don't belong. And we've covered a lot of bands
Well,
like
Dave, we've
Avenged
talked about
Sevenfold.
this. We've talked about this authenticity. There is no replacement for it. And there are certain bands when you listen to them, you know it's them, right? And they don't really go too far away. I mean, we did Filter, and we knew it was a Filter album when we listened to it. It was Filter. The difference was the singing was aged. It was just the sign of the times. Here, I don't know if Polar is ready to stick a stake in the sand on the beach of who they are and where they are. Um, again, the fact that we're bringing up the fact that they're one part metalcore, they're one part, post-hardcore and prog, they might have an identity crisis. And maybe for them, the same thing needs to happen. Maybe they need to simplify and go after 2 genres and not 3. It's the same thing that we talked about with One from the North. There's a lot going on here, and it's cool. And I really would like to hear it with good production qualities, but maybe they need to step it back and simplify things a little bit, because there's just a lot going on, and there's not a lot going on that we can't really hear.
One of the reasons why I brought it to the table, because it does have so much going on, because I do like it. A lot of this I really did like. Some of it I don't.
Well, there's a lot of genre hopping in there
Yeah.
that I think is inherent in progressive music, and I like that.
Mhm.
And like I said, I don't want to take anything away from the band and the genre hopping and all that. I'm cool with that, and I think they do a good job of that. For me, it was purely a production. Something is lacking on the production side, or the mix side, or the mastering side.
Was that with all the songs, or just some of the songs? So there wasn't one song on here. You couldn't pick one song on here where you felt different about that.
No, I think it was consistent from front to back, which is why I think it was more on the production side, not on the songwriting side, not
even
on
the Gods and Heathens. Gods and Heathens, you thought that?
I do.
Gods and Heathens, I thought was thunderous from beginning to end.
That's my other standout was Gods and Heathens and the Greatest Sin. And that's the thing. I like the material, but that's why I'm wondering and I'm questioning whether or not it was an intentional choice to do whatever it was they did that pushed the whole mix back a little bit. It's just not in your face. I think you put it well when you said it feels like it's in the next room.
Yeah.
But Nova didn't feel that way. And the earlier albums don't feel that way. And again, the songcraft and the style is very similar from album to album. So I think their consistency is there. It felt like a production. Something was different in the production that kind of fell flat a little bit. It's missing some punch.
Can I tell a story? So one of the first
I love
times,
story time.
Yeah. So one of the first times that I hung out with Dave, he was in a back office here and he's listening to 30 Seconds to Mars, and he had the This Is War album on, which has kids in I think maybe elementary school, middle school, singing on a lot of the tracks. And it had these big gang vocals and they were right up front, Kings and Queens. It was the song I remember. And I forget the other one now, but the same thing is here. There's some gang vocals and it's the band doing the gang vocals.
Yeah.
It's just in the back, and gang vocals are supposed to be boom, in your face, crushing. And these were the the most, my dad loves the word pansy ass gang vocals I have ever heard. If 30 Seconds to Mars is out gang vocaling you with middle school, elementary school kids and high school kids, that's a problem.
Yeah. I don't know. And again, I don't want to beat up on the band here.
They're
I really
band.
don't.
The band's good.
Yeah. The songwriting is good. I like what they do. And the performances on this record are solid.
Yeah.
But I would like an answer. I don't know who to ask because there's not a whole lot about this band online.
What other standouts did you have?
Those were the 2 big ones for me, Gods and Heathens and The Greatest Sin. But I like the whole record. I like the music. I like the performance.
Yeah, me too. I feel the same way.
What were your standouts?
I liked Burn. I like Gods and Heathens. And I thought Dissolve Me was a great song. Yeah.
What were yours, Derek? You got any?
Yeah. Dissolve Me was definitely an earworm. Winds of Change was, I think, probably encompassed who they are the most. And I really liked Rush just because of the drum solo, which is ambitious and kind of cool and different. But again, I listened to this 10, 15 times, and I had it on the background and I kept going like this. Hear it. Can't hear it. It's not there. And so I would love, guys, if you can get somebody to remix this thing and bring everything forward, that would be, don't
Well,
do
yeah,
it for me, but do it for you.
I don't think it was an overall volume level issue, because there are albums that are out there that are mixed beautifully
Mhm.
and are released at a lower general decibel level that still feel like they have, like it punches you in the face. This has the content there, but it just feels like there's something missing. Maybe, it's an analog to digital conversion or something.
Yeah.
Even the tones were good on the guitars. The
Yeah.
tones were badass. But they're like, where I know they're good.
Mhm.
They sound familiar. They sound like they should be fitting into this music, but it's not. It's, we're going to do some muscles now.
Do the pipes.
Yeah.
Do the pipes. Show them your pipes.
Show them the pipes. Yeah. Where are the pipes?
We need some muscle in that music.
Show them the muscle. I liked it. I mean, I thought from beginning to end, it was an easy listen. I didn't have to, bounce around a lot. There was a few songs I didn't like, but,
Well, for
no
the
big
record,
deal.
I agree. I like the record. I like their previous stuff.
Mhm.
It's a production. And that's why I wonder if it was a production choice that allows this to be a little more commercially viable, a little more approachable to people.
I just think a lot of bands are going this route.
My wife is not a fan of very heavy stuff, which is fine, of
She would
course.
probably like this.
But my wife could probably listen to this and not be,
right.
My wife is physically pained by some of the stuff.
I think Sarah would probably.
She could listen to this.
I'm sure Sarah can listen to this more than the stuff we listened to last week.
And this is heavy. It's heavy
heavier,
music,
no doubt.
But it's a production thing that makes it more
like Britney.
radio
She
friendly.
loves what's it called? 5-finger death.
No, don't say it. I want to watch Dave work through this.
What's the band? 5-finger.
I know who it
Punch.
is, and Derek knows who it is too.
5-finger death punch.
Okay, you're there.
Yeah, that's Britney loves that band. So when she listens to our podcast or anything we're reviewing, she always compares back to that. So and that's heavy at times. I mean, that's heavy.
Oh, well, they're heavier than some.
They're heavier.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have to defend my wife. She actually liked Celestial Sanctuary.
No, I don't believe
she
that.
does like some metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
She
it is true. Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't know about Celestial, but she does like some metal. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. She likes her metal. She likes her Riot Girl stuff. She loves her Nirvana. But yeah, she can go pretty heavy. I mean, she's gone to Amon Amarth with me. She's gone to Mudvayne with me, Rob Zombie. So she's seen some heavy stuff before. Yeah, she's good with it.
Yeah.
Right.
She's jealous that I'm going to Pantera Metallica, next year for my 50th birthday. But
she'll get
I only have two. I have 2 tickets, and my buddy up north bought them for me, so
she'll get over it.
She'll be fine.
No, if he was truly your buddy, he would appreciate that you need to drop him off at the corner and take your wife. I'm just saying.
A true friend, yes.
A true friend would understand that.
Yeah, well, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place.
I know if I was in that situation.
Maybe I should have my wife go with my buddy.
There you go.
And I'll be the altruistic one.
She probably would prefer that anyway.
Frankly, I bet he and her would too. So good singer there, Dave.
Oh shit.
Anyway, guys. Well, I'm glad you somewhat. I wanted to bring it to you because it's an interesting band. Very interesting.
I will speak to this
when we.
Yeah, I will speak to this when we get to the scores. I like the band. I like the record, but there's just something missing, and I hate to keep repeating myself, but.
All right.
But I do like the record, and I like their previous stuff. I like that they will take some real departures, like there's singular tracks on Nova, that just go super calm, like it's in more of an interlude.
I think I just got the impression well, guys, we did 6 albums. We're still in the same spot we were 10 years or 13 years ago. Maybe it's time to mix it up a little bit. That's what I got out of it.
See, I didn't catch that much of a deparsure between their prior albums.
It's a departure. It is. I think
Do you want to fight? Because I will fight you.
They're a lot more to this
I
band.
see. I disagree. I think the performance, I think the style and everything is the same. I think it's a production choice that changes the feel of the album
Okay,
over
that's
the
fair.
others.
Yeah, I think they're at a crossroads of where they fit in. You know,
That's fair.
Are you gonna headbutt him? Because
No.
can I pay you to?
Well,
John and I would never do that to each other.
it seems like
ever.
we're equally at odds with one another on this topic.
That's fine.
So
That's of course
will
it's
you,
fine.
Will you
Yeah.
headbutt him?
No, he
Sure.
won't do that.
I will.
Hard.
For the team. I will.
Right here. Just headbutt
Like
him right in the
this to
schnoz.
nose.
Yeah, your forehead and his schnoz would be great. Thanks.
But we got to get a photo of Dave and Keith from Death Ray next week, and I
No
want the man
doubt.
looking good.
Yeah,
do you think
thank you, John.
Keith? Do you
You're
think
welcome.
Keith is gonna headbutt him when he spends
Maybe
time with
Keith
him?
will
He
headbutt
might.
him. Now that would be a photo.
Just grab my head. Yeah.
Just smash the shit out of your own face.
You ready for this?
No, Keith, I'm not.
No, Mr. Bennett.
Well, let's put numbers on this. Let's put numbers on it. Anybody want to go? I'll jump in. From a performance standpoint, 8.5, 8.75 all day. I think it's they played the parts great. I like the parts they wrote. I like the content that they created. My issue lays with the production, and that's what brings my score down kind of significantly.
Okay.
I gotta land at like a 7.25, 7.5
Okay.
on this.
It's fair. Yeah.
But again, I can't discredit the band because they wrote good material. It's just that it's that thing that's missing on the production side. So that's where I land. A soft 7.5.
Yeah.
7.25 for me. I liked their execution, so that was up in the 8.25. But let's go real low on the production values. It's just a thud, So I give it a 7.25 with the production down in the 6s.
Yeah, and I again, not to get in the way, but I feel bad giving it that score because the music is good stuff. It's all the stuff I like. It's melodic. It's aggressive. It comes at you. It lays back. I like the gang vocal. I like all the elements, and they do a good job of putting it all together. But there was something in the overall packaging that changed the feel of it. Sorry, David.
I mean, I overall feel with you as far as what you just said and because I echo kind of what you're thinking there, I give it an 8 because I like the melodics, the heavy tones, and all that stuff that encompasses a song. So for me, I liked it. It's an 8. And it's got an 8 because there's a few songs in there I didn't like, but there was a lot of songs on here that I did like. And I think the band's got tremendous talent. So it's an 8.
I hope the band keeps doing what they're doing because I like the style. I like the flavor. I just wish the production had been a little differently, or the mastering, or whatever the fuck it was that didn't work for my ears. That's my only beef with the album. Unfortunately, it's a big one because it's the presentation of
I don't know as much as that stuff as you two, but does that make it sound that much better, even though it's still the same music, the same melodic?
It does to me,
riffs?
Yeah.
It makes it that
too.
much. Okay, see, I don't know it like you guys do. Okay. All right.
So tremendous talent.
Tremendous talent.
I think there's enough content out there to do a remix. Like maybe we need to bring in a hip hop artist to weave in with all of the tremendous talents that Dave has said over the course of all of our podcasts.
Well, the man recognizes talent when he sees it, and it's often tremendous.
I think it'd be hilarious.
With that.
There's definitely an opportunity to weave in.
Here's what Derek does. Derek picks an album out that he loves and doesn't give a shit about if you and I like it. Where I come to the table every week with an album that maybe isn't particularly one of my favorites, but at least it's going to throw a curveball at you guys to see what you're into, what you like.
You are altruistic.
But I don't
selfish.
pick an album and for 4 days walk around the office and threaten people if they don't like it. Then they're
you
gonna,
don't like
I don't
it.
do that, John. You
if
know what I mean?
you don't like it, you're gonna die. I'm gonna piss in your Cheerios.
This is exactly why I picked this band.
Shit in your car.
This is the reaction I knew that was going to happen from you two.
I'm going to shit in your car.
I will. We don't really that often talk about why we pick the albums that we pick.
I personally don't pick albums outside of Wolfgang. I'm not picking stuff that I am so like gung ho about. I'm trying to pick stuff that's going to throw you guys off a little bit. That's how I do it.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
have picked out albums from bands that I have liked historically. Avenged Sevenfold was one. Like
Sure.
almost all their earlier stuff, I knew people would be
Filter.
interested
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah.
Filter, again, a known quantity. People would listen to it. So I figured
Yes.
let's talk about it. Though there are a few albums that, like the one that we're going to talk about next week, which is I'm picking it, one, because I know there is a fan base for it, but two, I just love the band and
Yeah.
I have a chance to, dive into it deep all week long and then talk about it with my boys. So,
But I mean, you get Earn, Spirit Adrift, Death Ray Vision, the bands we've covered that I didn't know about. Fucking love these guys now.
and I do love that about what we do here is the fact that I have learned about a lot of new bands this year as a
Sermon,
result of
another
that.
one.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. To that end, next week,
Mhm.
we are going to talk about Tesseract's new album,
Tesseract.
War of Being. I've been waiting. It's been a good couple of years since their last album, Sonder.
I have a
And,
confession, sir. I've been cheating and I started to listen to it.
Oh, I know you have. I've heard it walking past your desk. And I
I'm
know
not gonna
Derek's
say
listened to it,
anything.
and I've listened to it too.
I'm not going to say much. I'll
Well,
wait.
it's fitting that you're picking War of Being because the next week Dave and I are traveling together, and it's going to be War of
That
Dave
will be a
and
war
Derek.
of beings.
I mean, we
No.
are sitting
No.
on flights together. We have to
No.
share a hotel room together one
Oh my
night.
God.
Ah, man, I'm gonna
This is
piss in
not
your
good.
Cheerios. I am gonna shit in your tailpipe. Man, it's gonna be brutal. And then when I say tailpipe, your car.
I
Just
just
so
to say, like,
clear.
what are you talking about?
I'm just gonna annoy you to no end. And by the way, when I pick albums, I don't think about you, Dave, at all. And I don't think about John. I
That's
only
pretty
think
evident.
about what is inspiring me.
Yeah. See,
And
John,
I
told
am
you.
not altruistic. I am the Eric Cartman of this group. Do what I want. And you guys are the altruistic ones. All right. So we're
Yeah.
clear
All
I
on
won't argue that.
Whatever.
I won't argue. And you may want to, at various times during your travels with Derek, because I'll be up there before you guys.
Yes.
He may need you to hold his hand walking through the airport, things like that.
No, I've traveled way more than this guy has
Well,
easily.
but
And
I
that's
don't
why
know
I
if you
say-
have. I don't think
Oh,
he
no,
has
trust
traveled
me.
more.
That's
than me.
why I say
There's no way he has.
I think
Yeah.
maybe it would be a calming, calming travel experience to have
Did-
Dave holding your hand.
So Trippett told me that
He-
I've traveled enough to go around this globe 5 times
Yeah.
since 2017.
You didn't put a kid through hockey. You don't know what travel's like.
No, but well, I do have a younger sibling that played hockey growing up in New England, and we were all over from Burlington, Vermont, all the way down to Boston.
You're just
down
such a
into Rhode
world
Island.
traveler. My God.
No,
You're so
listen,
impressive.
I'm just pointing out. I don't need you to hold
John,
my hand,
newsflash.
but
Derek's the first person to ever get on a plane and go
I
somewhere.
can't wait because I'm going to torture you this whole entire trip. And I might even die. Like if you're sleeping,
Don't snore. I just hope you don't snore.
Don't you sleep on the plane because I'm gonna get footage of it, and then I'm gonna do things with the old Reface app, and you're doomed. You're doomed. Don't sleep.
can't wait.
Dave.
I'm really looking
Don't
forward to it.
Sleep, Dave.
No sleeping.
No sleeping.
Show him the
Or you
pythons.
will have
Show him your
endless-
pythons one more time.
Show
you're
us the
gonna have-
pythons.
You're gonna have
Bring it in there real close to the camera, too.
Bring it in there. There you go.
endless torment for Dave while we travel together.
Well, he's asleep. You're just going to start that album up.
I'm gonna put peas up his nostrils. Just pack them filled.
John, what he doesn't understand is I will get naked, literally hop in his bed, and we will spoon. And when he wakes
No,
up,
No.
I will be the first person he's looking at.
That's
No.
almost sweet. That's almost sweet.
I'll do what I
Marginally
gotta do,
disturbing,
and I'll-
but borderline sweet.
No spooning.
Oh,
We
boy.
will talk about this at our week on the Tesseract
We will.
podcast. So, all right. Well, this
Good
is
stuff.
great.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Good pick this week.
Thank you, John.
All right, you guys have a great weekend, and I will cautiously say I'm looking forward to traveling with you guys.
You're
Me
not.
too, John.
Well, you are for a part.
We'll be connecting up there. So, yeah. All right, good stuff. Have a good
Thank
weekend,
you,
boys.
John.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone,
Derek.
for stopping by. Later.